I am welcoming Richard Rupp, candidate for Ward 5. Hello, Richard.
Hi, Marge. Nice to be here with you.
Yeah, thank you. Richard, I am looking forward to hearing the responses to some questions I have sent you. I'm asking you to respond to each question within 2 minutes. Got my timer here. Our first question: how would you describe the value of our heritage, and how would you like to see Richmond Hill's 150th anniversary celebrated next year?
Well, I think that's a great question. And I think our heritage is very unique and special. Richmond Hill is very different than, say, for example, Vaughan and Markham and neighboring areas. How I would like to see it celebrated, I learn new things about Richmond Hill's history and heritage all the time. And I think people that have lived here for 10, 20, 30 years may not know the history of Richmond Hill. I would love to see, if possible, that this either run through the city of Richmond Hill or the Central Library, do a sort of informative program that educates people on our history, where we came from. And I'd also like to see, if possible, if the grade schools here in Richmond Hill could teach the kids, like just have a segment on our history so that the kids could learn, what's the past of Richmond Hill, where we came from, where we've grown to be where we are today, and learn all about the heritage, the rich heritage that we have here in Richmond Hill.
Very good. Second question. Majority of Richmond Hill residents are very car dependent. This has us with a large carbon footprint and thus contributing to the degradation of the environment. Do you see us resigned to live like this? Would you support changes to the municipal zoning rules to permit non-residential uses in areas that are now strictly residential? Should new subdivisions be designed differently?
Great question. Again, the problem that we have with Richmond Hill is it's really become so much of a bedroom community. And that goes back to planning. So many people live here in Richmond Hill and we have a highly skilled workforce, but they live in Richmond Hill. We live in Richmond Hill, then we have to travel to Toronto or Markham or Vaughan or Mississauga or where have you in order to find work and to go to our jobs. I think the problem that we have is that Richmond Hill, what I would like to do is attract high quality businesses here to Richmond Hill that would have high paying jobs for a highly skilled workforce. And then people will need to travel that far and have such a big carbon footprint in order to find gainful employment and work. If we had good businesses here, then those businesses will shoulder a bigger burden of the tax base, and it will alleviate some of the problems that homeowners have to pay. Homeowners are paying very high taxes. If we had more businesses here, high quality businesses, they pay a higher rate of taxes, and it will make it easier on residential homeowners they'll pay less property taxes because businesses will pay more. So that's part of the answer is attracting good quality businesses here to Richmond Hill.
Very good. What do you see as Richmond Hill's vulnerabilities?
Well, I see two, and knocking on the doors and talking with people in Ward 5, the big concern that everyone's talking about is the dysfunction in our council right now. And we need to have a good plan. We need to have leadership. We need to have a clear vision where we want to take Richmond Hill into the future. As I say, we know Richmond Hill is going to have growth in the next 20 to 50 years, but I believe it has to be balanced with community character and the environment. So one of our vulnerabilities is council has a dysfunction, and people are upset by it. They're very frustrated by it. I hear it at the door and I commiserate, and that's one of the reasons I'm running in Ward 5. The second thing that I find, going back to the previous question, is that one of the vulnerabilities we have is I talk to a lot of elderly people in Ward 5, and they say that if property taxes keep going up, they're going to have to sell their home and move somewhere else. People are very concerned by that. And the reason is that we've lost businesses like Honda, for example, to Markham. We haven't attracted high quality, high paying businesses here in Richmond Hill that would pay a higher share of the property taxes so that the residential homeowner isn't burdened as much by the high percentage of property taxes. Richmond Hill has one of the highest percentages of residents shouldering the property tax burden.
Okay, very good, thank you. Fourth question. Imagine there was a lottery for municipalities and Richmond Hill won $50 million. How would you like to see it spent?
Great question. First of all, I would like to see most of the money saved away. But there's ways that we could do things to improve Richmond Hill that have low cost and high impact. One of the examples that I've experienced, for example, during the pandemic, a lot of people went out and explored and experienced our walking trails. And we have a wonderful walking trail route here in Richmond Hill. I would love to see that expanded. I would love to see that improved and better. This is something that we could do that has a low cost, but a high impact and a high rate of return. And people can enjoy the beautiful environment and nature that we have, get exercise, get fresh air. So part of that money, most of it I'd like to save it away, but part of that money I would like to see an improvement, for example, to our nature and our walking trails.
Okay, very good. Move on to the second part of our candidate conversations, our 7 fun facts about the candidates. So these are to be answered quickly and with a smile. Okay. Are you a tea or coffee drinker?
I'm actually both. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't have a coffee in the morning and tea by the afternoon.
Very good. Do you prefer ebooks or real books?
I definitely prefer real books, although sometimes I listen to audiobooks for convenience, but real books.
Real books. Do you say ketchup or ketchup?
Ketchup with a K.
Okay. Okay. What is your ideal place for a vacation?
I'd say somewhere down south, warm, maybe with a beach, just something relaxing and warm.
Okay. Do you have a Mac or a PC?
PC.
PC. What is your favorite vegetable?
I like all vegetables. I really enjoy eating vegetables if they're well cooked. If for the sake of the question, if I had to pick one vegetable that I enjoy, is broccoli.
Broccoli. Okay. And have you ever played pickleball?
Okay, this is such a fascinating question because before last year, I never even heard of pickleball. Okay, never even heard of pickleball. And everyone in our Richmond Hill is talking about pickleball. And it's so profound that I even saw months ago, earlier this year, CP24 did a news story on pickleball. So I've never played it, but what I can say is there's a lot of people here in Richmond that are excited about it. And I've learned about it that it's, the fastest growing sport in all of North America. It is cross-generational. Grandparents are playing with kids. And what I found is that the interest level is so high here that honestly, if the staff and council can really do a good job here, I truly believe that Richmond Hill can be the center of pickleball of all York region. And people from other areas can come here to play pickleball.
Okay. Love your enthusiasm, love your answer. So thank you so much, Richard, for participating. I wish you well with the campaign, and I hope to see you around the city soon.
Thanks, Marj. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.